Hi everyone, hope I'm audible. Cool, awesome. So maybe I'll start with a quick intro to myself. So I head CopDev, which is basically investments and acquisitions for Razorpay. Razorpay is a payments and neobanking company in India. Not too old, about 7.5 years old. Been around for 3 years. We've invested in about 7, 8 companies, acquired 5 more, and very excited about the fintech ecosystem in general. Outside of Razorpay, I also head an angel fund called Marshot Ventures, from which we make non-fintech investments, and we've invested in about 30 odd companies. So that's a quick intro to myself. The topic for today is payments and digital wallets, right? I think fairly exciting theme for fintechs today, because no matter what you're going to be doing, digital payments is going to be a core part of your engine, as part of your sales or as part of your servicing. So let me just talk a little bit about why digital payments is exciting in India, right? There have been a couple of reasons why payments in India has grown so large. Even if you look at it globally, India is one of the largest markets and one of the case studies that countries in the West and East learn from, whether it's UPI or BBPS, NETC. There are several case studies that kind of talk about why India has done what it's done. So few reasons. The first one is obviously regulations. The regulations and RBI have had a large role to play. Secondly, there have been a lot of ecosystem enablers, whether that's smartphone penetration, low cost of internet. All of that has really enabled us to sort of use digital payments. And then there are fintech startups, right, such as yourselves, us, who are really innovating on product and tech. And this mixed with the macro factors, which is lockdowns and the pandemic and demonetization in 2016, there has been a significant adoption of digital payments and a paradigm shift in terms of how consumers engage with commerce, right, both online and offline. And that's essentially how digital payments has become about a $750 billion of a market in 2023 and growing very fast. So that's really how, in summary, we've sort of come along. Take any need that you have, take any want that you have, there'll be some startup in Bangalore, Kochi, Hyderabad kind of servicing it, right? And all of them are going to accept payments online, whether that's e-commerce, gaming, lending, whether that's OTT, investments, insurance, all of them are going to accept money online. And with that in mind, I'll probably go a little bit deeper into what kind of payments are accepted today and what's really driving innovation, right? UPI has been one that has really been the love child of India in terms of payments and digitization, right? And because it's real time, it's instant gratification, low cost, interoperable, right? You can pay anyone at any time. It's seen massive adoption, right? And because of that, whether you go to a metro and pay at a big bazaar, or you go to the smallest kirana in, let's say, a tier 3 city, you will have the same Paytm sticker with a QR. So UPI has done a great job. They also innovate themselves constantly with UPI 2.0, credit on UPI, and a bunch of other things, right? Of course, needs regulatory oversight, but all stuff that is going to enable a lot new business models coming along. So that's a bit on UPI. But if I go one step further, right, and talk about cards, credit cards, debit cards, all of that has also been sort of growing. None of these are sort of stopping, maybe at different rates, but there are players like Slice, Uni, FamPay, all issuing credit cards. There are neobanks issuing debit cards and bank accounts. So all of those have also sort of pushed for digital payments. And today, right, even if you're going to pay your electricity bill, your DTH bill, you don't have to go and stand in line anymore. You have your billers on Paytm, on Airtel, you can just use BBPS to make your payments. So everything has become remote, right? Maybe actually, let me tell you a little bit about a story about this, something I read on Twitter. There was this person who went to his Kirana store and kind of asked the Kirana person, what's your preferred mode of payment, right? And that guy, said, hey, I like cash for obvious reasons. And then that person noticed that there is an M-Swipe terminal, there is a Paytm soundbox, there is a BharatPay QR. And then the next question was obviously that how much of your income comes in cash, right? And the answer was just 10%. And that kind of showed that the preferred mode of payment has moved from the business to the consumer. And hence today, there are several secondary and tertiary order effects or outcomes of digital payments, right? So now all of this cash that was in circulation is all becoming white and adding to our digital economy. So several, sort of secondary order effects of digital payments in India. Another one I'd like to talk about is BNPL, right? Today, about 80-90% of the spends of the country digitally still come from 5% of the users, which is essentially cred users, if I may call them. But how do we get the next 95% up to the 5, right? Really, it's by giving them access to credit. And that's where BNPL-like players have come in and really expanded the market by unlocking value among some of those segments. Whether those are card players like Slice or Uni, or whether they are more of, sort of pay later products like Simple and LazyPay. But all of them are doing very unique things, right? And if you, sort of look forward, I don't think that we'll even need our cards and wallets to pay. Going forward, I think you'll be able to pay with your fingerprint, facial recognition, with your voice, and the startups doing it today, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of evolution in just the way you sort of pay as well, both online and offline. And that's probably where the next leg of growth is going to come. I think one important thing about payments is while we've seen a lot of digitization on UPI and generally in terms of smartphone, one thing that's still lacking is trust. So I think that's another sort of lever that's going to come in for the next stage of growth, especially in tier 2, tier 3, especially on SMEs that sell online without a face to put. So trust is going to have to be built by either marketplaces or regulators or enablers, and that's probably going to push for the next 200 million users to come online. So that's a little bit about payments, digital payments itself. If I talk a little, and I deliberately kind of left out wallets. So if you kind of look at wallets, right? Globally, wallets have had a very interesting story. They've all entered in developing geographies where population is either uncarded or unbanked, and really digitized payments by providing a semi-closed loop wallet, right? So what Paytm was 5 years back, you can only pay money to another Paytm user or a business who accepts Paytm. And all of these, whether you take China, there's Alipay, Tenpay, you take Indonesia, there is GoPay or OVO. All of them eventually wanted to, sort of gain distribution on consumer and business, and then do a lot more things on lending, treasury, and a bunch of other things, right? And that was the same case in India. We had several, wallets that had sort of set shop and were scaling pretty fast. But that's the unique story about India, right? While these were growing, UPI also kind of came in. And the 4 factors of UPI that were pretty interesting, right? First, it was interoperable. Second, it was sort of lower cost because of MDRs. Third, it was easy to use. There was not too many hops. And fourth, it was just real time, right? Instant gratification. And because of that, wallets growth started getting muted because their value proposition dropped. So you saw a lot of wallets either getting acquired or turning into payments banks. But for the last 2 years, I don't think we've heard much about pure wallets, right? All of these wallet players now do UPI, even for cashbacks and recharges. But that's the interesting part. About a few months back, a few quarters back, RBI actually updated the guidelines on PPI. So today, PPI is basically the license that's needed to issue a wallet. So today, anyone who actually has a wallet should be able to use it almost like a bank account. So a wallet today can actually hold up to 2 lakhs of balances. You can make unlimited transactions from your wallets. You can also withdraw cash and sort of use it interoperably. So what that means is in the next few months, you can actually move money from your Paytm wallet to your Amazon Pay wallet directly without having to go through your bank or UPI. So those are some changes that are actually coming along within payments, or rather within wallets, which is going to unlock a lot more use cases. So you're probably going to see Flipkart, Swiggy giving you wallets with a lot more functionality. You're probably going to see Simple and Slice and others giving you BNPL cards with a lot more functionality because they're all PPIs at the back end. And you'll probably see it across expense management, salary cards, and other use cases. So I think wallets, while we've not heard a lot about them in the last 2-3 years, the next couple of years we're going to be hearing a lot more about them, and hopefully wallets are going to make a comeback. So that's a little bit about how wallets have kind of played out. So all in all, I think digital payments today and wallets itself have driven a lot of the growth. Payment option lies right there because everyone's embedded payments, right? Whether it's a marketplace, whether it's TikTok globally, or even at Delhi Airport. So at Delhi Airport, if you look at the gate, there's actually an ad of McDonald's and it shows your QR. So you're at the gate waiting and you see an ad, and if you scan it, you can actually pay right there and get your burger to the gate. So they've embedded payments into ads. So that's how embedded payments has been today, and that's how these purchase journeys are going to evolve. And hence, I think for the next few years, we're going to see a lot more evolution with a lot more growth in digital payments and wallets. And probably time will tell, how that kind of evolves with a lot of players like Open, Razorpay, Cash Free, PayU, sort of pushing some of that growth. So yeah, that's all from me for the segment. I've kept it quick and short.